Good day and welcome to my Campus Guide channel. Today we are going to talk about the air compressor. What does it do? Let's look at this definition. You see, an air compressor is a pneumatic device that converts power into potential energy stored in a pressurized air. What do we mean by that? So an air compressor is any device or machine that admits atmospheric air at a very low pressure and compresses it and deliver it at a very high pressure. So that's the medium of air compressing. It admits atmospheric air at a very low pressure and discharge it at a very high pressure. Let's look at the stages in air compression. We have a single stage compression and a multi-stage compression. What do we mean by a single stage compression? This means the air compression is done once. It's a one-time compression. The air is compressed just once. But when we take the multi-stage compression, the compression is double. And for the single stage compression, it uses fins as a medium of cooling. But for multi-stage compression, they uses water as a medium of cooling. So now let's look at the diagram of the air compressor and its parts. This is a simple diagram of an air compressor. Let's look at some of the useful parts of it. We have the fin type condenser. The fin type condenser is on a pump. So what is it doing? The admitted air, it rejects heat from the admitted air. It has an inlet valve. You can see the inlet valve here. It has an inlet valve. So the fin type condenser on the pump rejects the amount of heat inside the air entering the pump. We have the next part called the inlet valve. What does it do? It admits atmospheric air inside the compressor, and the admission of this air is at a very low pressure. The inlet valve admits atmospheric air at a very low pressure. We have the next part, which is called the pressure gauge. Pressure gauge. This is the pressure gauge. What does it do? The pressure gauge indicates the amount of compressed air inside the receiver. It indicates the amount of compressed air inside the receiver. That is giving us information about the pressure of the compressed air inside the receiver or the tank. We have the next part called the receiver or tank. What is it doing? It stores the compressed air for future use. The compressed air is stored inside this tank for future use. We also have a tank drain. A tank drain. It performs one of the critical functions. Air compressor. This is the single stage air compressor. What is it doing for the machine? The tank drain valve allows excess water inside the receiver to drain. It gives passage for excess water to drain. The inlet valve admits atmospheric air. For this reason, it contains amount of moisture which we don't need. So the tank drain opens for the accumulated water inside the tank to drain, to also prevent corrosion. So when there is a compressed air inside the tank and a presence of water too, corrosion may occur, which may lead to the destruction of the tank or receiver. So let's go to the next part, which is the motor. The motor can be defined as the heart of the compressing machine. Why is it called the heart of the compressing machine? The motor provides power for the compressor head, that is the pump. The motor provides power for it to work. Let's look at the voltage regulator. The voltage regulator also compresses. It helps regulate the compressed air automatically. The voltage regulator here, it's helping us controls the compressor automatically. That's the motor. It controls and regulates it. We have the safety valve. That's our next part. The safety valve. There's it. Safety valve. What is it also doing? The safety valve is also performing a safety function over here. What do I mean by a safety function? The safety valve opens automatically when the accumulated air or the stored air inside the receiver exceeds its pressure limit. The receiver can receive compressed air at a given limit. So when the compressed air inside the receiver exceeds its limit, the safety valve opens automatically to allow the pressure inside the tank or receiver reduce to the standard one for the machine. The last part, which is the stand or support for the machine. What is it also doing? It gives support to the whole machine. It performs a very simple function by giving support to the whole machine. So now let's look at some of the uses of compressed air. What we can use the compressed air for. The first part is for inflating tires. Most of the vulcanizers uses the air compressing machine to inflate tires. The second part is for cleaning. Whenever you are doing a pressure washing, those who washes woolen carpets and others, they use the air compressor to remove the excess filth or dirt inside such material because it demands a very high pressure dirt from those materials. And also is also used in the braking systems as in trucks or cars. Most of the times you'll be in a car and the car will stop or brake. Immediately you hear sounds like yes, this is a pneumatic type of brake. It uses the air compression system to stop the car. And the last part is for spraying. We use the air compressor to spray. It aids in spraying because the spray has to be deposited at a very high pressure to enhance it. Thank you and have a nice day. Don't forget to subscribe to my campus guide channel. Have a nice day.